just a strong black woman, and she's my backbone.
Snoop Dogg has had a lot of success in his career.
I had no understanding of what I was doing her, how I was hurting her, and how I was betraying myself.
But not everyone knows that he's also had some real struggles in his personal life. The people he loves most in the world have had to deal with some major health problems over the years, and even his own health has supposedly been at risk. It's honestly hard to believe some of the heartbreaking tragedies that he's been through. People are pretty concerned about Snoop Dogg and his family these days. Some of his closest relatives have had a number of health issues in the past, and it seems like they're still affected by them to this day. But Snoop Dogg does his best to keep his private life on the down low, so we don't always know what's going on until it's too serious to hide anymore, which is one of the reasons why people have been worried lately. You might not know this, but Snoop Dogg has been with his wife Shantae Brutus ever since they were teenagers. They even went to prom together. The couple have been through a lot, and at one point they apparently had to deal with a major health scare. According to a report by NDT Music, Shantae once had breast cancer, and she used her platform to help raise awareness about how important it was to detect it early and get early treatment too. Hopefully her cancer scare is a thing of the past, but recently people have been worried about her health. A video came out in late November 2023 when she and Snoop Dogg were out celebrating with friends. Although the couple were dancing and looked happy together, online users began pointing out just how thin Shantae looked in the video. It really looked like she'd lost a lot of weight, and on top of that, she was the only person in the video wearing a protective face mask. Like I said before, Snoop Dogg is private about his personal matters, so he hasn't said anything about his wife's well-being. But the video has made a lot of people seriously concerned. I think we're all just hoping that whatever it is, it's not too serious. But Snoop Dogg has always had to worry about the health of someone else that he loves. His youngest child, Corey, was diagnosed with lupus when she was just 6 years old. Lupus is an autoimmune disease where the body's immune system harms its own healthy tissues instead of bad bacteria or viruses. Sadly for Corey, it's both chronic and incurable. It must have been really difficult for Snoop Dogg to watch his daughter grow up with something that caused her so much pain in her life. In a 2021 interview with People, she admitted that she was put on so much medication that she felt like she was going insane. Her mental health was seriously affected. Corey explained that she'd always been sad, she'd always been depressed, and she felt like she'd been through a lot. She added that her body was often hurting and she was in a lot of pain and would often question why it was her that had to deal with such a burden. Things got so hard for her at one point that she confessed to People that she almost did something unspeakable just a few years ago. Apparently her boyfriend was in a car accident and the stressful incident triggered her, and she felt that she needed to get away from everyone. Corey explained that she couldn't handle stress and that when stuff got too hard for her, her mind instantly went to ending it all. In an Instagram video she posted about mental health, she shared how sometimes she felt like she didn't have a purpose, that she dealt with so much health stuff, and she felt like people didn't really get her, like she was just being dramatic. Corey confessed that she didn't originally go to a hotel room with the intention of taking her own life, but that changed once she was there. Luckily, she called her aunt though. She said that she later woke up in the room to find paramedics all around her, and eventually she was hospitalized. It was probably a really dark time for both her and her family. You can imagine just how worried Snoop Dogg must have been about his baby girl, but things are different nowadays. In a more recent interview with People, Corey revealed that she was better than she'd ever been. She shared that she'd stopped taking all of her medication months ago and was just doing everything natural. She's also started working out and drinking lots of water. The new lifestyle choice came after she had an epiphany. Her dependency on taking pills had become a lot for her. She was only 24 years old and was taking 10 to 12 pills every single day. So she decided to go cold turkey and find alternative solutions. And the great thing was that she was seeing the rewards of the changes that she'd made. Her body was no longer achy. Corey explained that having lupus meant that she had achy joints. It was like having arthritis. And lately, she wasn't complaining about her knees, feet, hands, or back, but she understood that it was a day-by-day process, that things were going to take time and nothing was going to happen overnight. Hopefully she'll continue to get better though and be able to live her life to the fullest. I'm sure it's what her dad wants for her, but while her article in People brought good news about her health, an announcement in mid-November had a lot of us concerned concerned about Snoop Dogg's health. You're never going to believe what he did this time. Snoop Dogg declared to the world that he was going to quit smoking, and you can imagine the crazy mixed reactions that caused. He's notoriously famous for his love of smoking a certain kind of green plant, if you know what I mean. So when everyone found out that he had plans to stop doing that, there were a lot of polarized opinions about it. He took to Instagram to write that after much consideration and conversation with his family, he decided to give up smoking, and he asked people to please respect his privacy. Since Snoop Dogg didn't explain why he was quitting, it was up to everyone's imagination to guess what made him stop after decades of promoting it. For a lot of people though, their first thought was that there was something up with his health. He previously told the Daily Mail that he wanted to cut down on smoking so that he'd be around more for his grandchildren. In his interview, he shared that being a grandfather had changed him in multiple ways. The main way was being concerned with how he lived, how he moved, and the kind of people he associated with, all because he wanted to see his grandkids grow old. So naturally, a lot of online users began commenting that he'd probably given it up because of wanting to be healthier. But some wondered if it was because he was already ill. One user commented that Snoop Dogg might be sick and questioned why he said he needed privacy. Another person wrote that the announcement sounded like a funeral announcement, but for other people, his decision to quit served as a kind of inspiration for them to quit too. Rapper Meek Mill wrote on Twitter that since Snoop Dogg started the no smoking challenge, he was going to follow up, adding that it wasn't healthy for him. Another online user explained that if Snoop Dogg could do it, then they could do it too. The news honestly seemed to have a pretty huge impact on people, but just days later, the truth about the meaning of Snoop Dogg's words was revealed. It turned out to just be a marketing ploy. He was actually just promoting a smoke-free fire pit belonging to a company he'd partner with. While some people were relieved that Snoop Dogg hadn't changed his ways, others didn't appreciate him making light of his smoking habits in order to sell a product. But I guess the plus side is that Snoop Dogg's health seems to be okay. Let's just hope that's also the case for his wife Shantae, and that he isn't faced with any more tragic situations in his life. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think that people are overreacting about the way Shantae looked in the video and that she's actually okay? What do you think about the marketing scheme Snoop Dogg did in order to sell his new product? Let me know in the comments below.